Hello, everyone. Welcome to Style Esports Season 6. I am your host, Shinkari. I'm joined today by Merlinkle. Today we have two great teams. We got a grudge match. Dragons of the West on the on the blue side and XFlow Esports on the red. This is a grudge match. We do it the last time these two teams went up against each other. XFlow was able to win in Game 3. So right off the bat, we are getting into our picks and bans. And Merlinkle, how you doing today?
Doing good, doing good. Merlin's defined just for the name, but we've got some good bands coming out. Camille, a very strong Dragons of the West top laner band. I think that makes a lot of sense. We got the Fizz band that's leveled against Fish. He plays a lot of Assassins mid lane. I am a little surprised XFlow is not banning his Seraphine. He's been on a lot of Seraphine lately, and if you have a Diamond 1 in this league with a 70% win rate over 44 games, you kind of want to get that out of there. So it'll be interesting to see whether that comes out for XFlow as their third band. Like you said, there's a long narrative here. I think Dragons beat XFlow, I believe, in the championship last season to promote into a higher division. And of course, we got rid of the divisions, but here we are kind of battling it out. I think that they are both very skillful teams, and a lot is actually going to come down to draft. I want to make sure that both these teams are drafting a cohesive comp with a good identity, and there we go. There's the Seraphine band. XFlow have not lost their mind. They are taking that off the table. But let's see what these first picks are going to look like.
Yeah, and I mean, I think Seraphine is a pretty standard ban. On top of that, Seraphine is just a very, very powerful champion, regardless of whose hands it is. Even if you've never played Seraphine before, as long as you're pointing that ultimate in the right direction, you're probably doing something right.
Agreed. It is very easy to hit, and it is game-changing. One good ult through a team with the extended range from your teammates and from the enemy team can definitely end the game. I actually kind of don't... I'm not sure about leveling all three bands against Fish. He's definitely the carry, but he's got such a broad champion pool that I really think you just want to hit the high points. I do know that XFlow banned the Pantheon because they were scarred by a 16-0 performance on Pantheon in Game 2 last time they played. But that Hecarim, guys, is legit. That is Nemesis's main. I had thought that it might be possible that he was shifting into a new role, but if that is his Hecarim, it is going to be scary. XFlow counters with some of their mains as well. Lemon on Shen is definitely a force to be reckoned with, and you can already see the comp that XFlow is building. They've got the Galio for the side lane, so they've got two global / semi-global ultimates. They're going to be looking for to respond to any sort of Hecarim gank with like everybody kind of joining in on the side. I do like the Scion pick. I think the Scion into Shen is probably a pretty decent answer. What do you think, Shinkar?
Yeah. I think the Scion answer is pretty cool. I'm a huge fan because I love Scion is like my favorite top laner to play. And also just putting it into the Shen, like you want someone to be able to match his duels and be able to just harass him in lane as much as possible. If you make his stand uniteds just that much less impactful by making him just a little weaker by the time he shows up, or even interrupting them, Scion can do both of those things.
Absolutely. I want to see Diana here. Right here. If you pick an in-champ for Fish, an assassin with like a Shen and a Galio coming on top, I think that is everything you need at a top, mid, and jungle. We'll see what they end up choosing here. Obviously, if they wanted to pick an ADC, given they already know that Caitlyn is in the lane, that would be like a counter pick without giving any information away. And there you go. You've got a Varus. Can kind of match the range a little bit in a fairly safe bot with CC. I don't hate it, but you really want to pick something that can get melee with the opponents. You want to pick something here, either in as a support like an Alistar, or in the mid lane, something that can kind of get in so that you've got a target for the Shen and the Galio kind of deep into the enemy territory.
And I feel like that's going to come out in the jungle here. That might be like their jungle pick. Like maybe they're looking for an Olaf, maybe they're looking for a Skarner. But these round 2 bans coming out pretty quick here. Swain and Nico already being banned away.
You know, I'm thinking about that Galio. Galio support is a thing. Fish does not typically... Oh, no, Fish does have Galio. That is his comp. Yeah, it is almost certainly like a mid Galio. So, yeah, we'll have to see what the jungler is able to pull out for XFlow to kind of round out this comp.
Yeah, because it is important to note that Galio isn't so much an initiator himself, but he is good follow-up. You know, a lot of people like to use the moniker, the bounce house, when folks when folks pick a Galio into a heavy engage comp, usually you have a Camille or a Jarvan set up the house, and then you have Galio bring in the bounce. And this is also, also good with Shen as well to have a good initiation follow up. Ivern and Victor being banned away here.
Interesting. Victor, I can see. I don't know that Ivern would necessarily go with the XFlow comp. I don't know Rainy's champs that well. It looks like he does play kind of more control, but maybe he's looking for like the Shyvana.
Yeah, I could see a Shyvana pick here because like it's. I think we already touched on it. And we're getting the bounce house.
Oh my
Let's
god,
go.
I didn't know he had it, but J4 obviously phenomenal with Galio, being able to lock 2-3 opponents in Cataclysm and having Galio come over the top, and he's able to survive with the Shen damage while Varus is like pummeling from the outside. Obviously a very, very potent combo. I will say they're light on damage. Galio and J4 not known for like sustained damage. Varus also not like a hyper carry, hyper scaler in the late game. Oh, and on the Dragons, they left open Zilean. Zilean is a fantastic pick for the support.
Oh my gosh. This is actually great because these are two champions that we just kind of talked about before the game started, Merlin. Like Zilean and Shen, these are two very important champions for both of these teams. Zilean for Dragons of the West and Shen for XFlow. So this should be a very, very cool game to watch.
Yeah, it should be. And Zilean just changes the face of the game. Like, it's a permanent GA on whoever needs it most in team fights, and well executed, as I think this Zilean will be well executed, can be a real disaster. We have an interesting pick by Fish on the Corki. And it looks like XFlow is responding with Azir, which on the current patch is obviously not very good, but it absolutely will help with the sustained damage. It does mean that the Galio is a support rotation, which is not what we expected. But I think that it makes a lot of sense because that gives you like the sustained damage that you're really looking for out of the comp that's maybe missing with just Galio, Shen, J4.
Yeah, and I think I like the Galio into the Zilean matchup here. I mean, Zilean won't be able to harass Galio, say, as much as like a Leona or maybe an Alistar because he does have that big magic resist shield that he gains, and he also builds magic resist. Like, he favors magic resist when it's itemization.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think what do you think about Corki? He's off meta. I don't think he's terrible. Obviously very like reliant on the package being up. Not much of an early game, but a pretty decent scaler. What do you think about that pick?
It's interesting because I want to say that this is a poke comp that wants to kind of stay away and not really engage. I'm seeing Caitlyn, I'm seeing Corki, I'm seeing Zilean, but on the other hand, I'm seeing Hecarim and Sion, who are like two of the heaviest engagers in the game. And so I'm just kind of confused about what the actual point of this, what the actual goal here was with this team composition.
So Shinkari, I totally agree. If there is a flaw in the Dragons team, I think it is team comp. Like XFlow has a very clear identity. They are kind of wombo combo AoE team fight oriented with J4 Galio and these like big global ults. Whereas Dragons have a bit of like team fight and in with the Sion and the Hecarim, but you're not going to be able to follow that up with a Corki, and Kate's going to be stuck hitting frontline. Zilean, is he really going to be 600 units away from the Hecarim to be able to ult him when he needs it? Probably not. I mean, the Hecarim ult just covers so much distance and he's so fast, it's difficult to see how it's going to pan out. Now, it's not to say that Dragons can't win the game. It's just to say that it's maybe going to require a little bit higher level of execution than XFlow. And oftentimes when your team doesn't have like a consistent identity, people just aren't on the same page. And you have somebody going in when somebody else is out, and somebody kiting back when and maybe the split and lane assignments might not get properly handled. So I'm excited to see what it's going to look like. But it is definitely, I think, a weak point of Dragons that they're not like, they don't have a cohesive identity.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, if anything, I'm excited for the Zilean pick just because he can make Hecarim faster. And that's my favorite thing in League of Legends, and I think it's pretty much the same across a lot of people, is that when you give someone a lot of movement speed, it's instantly the funniest stuff. It's the funniest thing on the planet. Like, anyone with too much, like The Fast comes to mind, where that video of the guy who played Jhin in like Earth or something and maxed out his movement speed and got fourth shot and started like running in laps around people. And like, you know, back in the day of building a bunch of movement speed items on like Rammus and pressing Q and like zooming across the map is like something that people really enjoy. And honestly, like I enjoy it as well. So I'm looking forward to Zillion just pressing the movement speed button onto Hecarim and watching that pony just go for gold.
Absolutely, absolutely. What do you think? What do you think the lane to watch is? Like, if you were to pick a lane where you thought First Blood would appear, or is likely gonna kind of get in each other's faces and not just adopt a farm to 9 strategy, which lane do you think we need to keep an eye on most?
I would say the top lane is going to be a bit of a bloodbath. I think those two characters, Shen and Sion, are really heavy into beating each other up. Shen, you know, a lot of folks think like, oh yeah, Shen, he's a tank. Like he doesn't really duel that whole often. Like he just wants to sit there and farm, but he's a lot more engaged. He wants to be like getting these little short engagements where he's passing his spirit sword through you and getting empowered autos. He has like a bunch of additional damage. He can get through a bunch of he can get through trades fairly easily with his zone. Like I think top lane is going to be a bloodbath, and I think that if anything, XFlow is going to be putting a lot of pressure on the bottom lane.
I think you're right. Melee versus melee in the top side. Clearly, they're not going to just sit and farm. They're going to be taking swings at each other, and I think the skill matchup's really going to make a big difference. I will say that Shen has a lot of damage.
Mm-hmm.
He's
Yep.
an unusual tank in the early game. I think he can be pretty oppressive.
Yeah.
We'll see how many Qs Sion can land and whether he can knock up. I'm super interested in the bot lane. I think mid's going to
Mhm.
be farmy. Corki's pretty safe. Azir has range. Maybe Azir can get some good poke down onto the Corki, who is maybe not quite as deep a range. But I'm really excited about this Varus Galio. I think that Caitlyn, obviously a range advantage up against a melee support. Maybe she can lay down some poke. Maybe Zillion catches a double bomb or two. It'll be interesting to see whether Galio is vulnerable or whether he can get engages. But if I was a jungler in this game, I was Hecarim in particular, I would definitely be pathing towards bot side. I think that's where you've got a chance of making something happen. Otherwise, it's also possible we could just see some battles over Scuttle and priority. But I don't see a lot happening in the mid lane. I think top bottom's really where the action's going to be.
Yeah, for sure. But with that, we are going to take just a quick break. But don't go anywhere. When we come back, we will be on the Rift with this grudge match of Dragons of the West versus XFlow Esports. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Style Esports Season 6. We are now finally on the Rift after a little bit of a hiccup with one of the players' keyboards. But we are here on the Rift with Dragons of the West versus XFlow Esports. I'm Shinkari, joined once again by Merlin. And we are finally, the line of scrimmage has been drawn.
It is going to be fun. We have the regular old 5-point, a little bit of dancing in the mid lane between Rainy and Fish. But I think people are gearing up to get ready. Ooh, Caitlyn's in behind Varus. I don't know if she'll be able to do
Yeah.
anything.
Oh yeah. She'll be able to get a decent chunk of damage early. Yeah. Oh yeah. That's a huge chunk right there.
It is, and there's no time to recall, so Varus is going to sit on that damage to lane, I think. I don't know why she didn't go for more autos. I think she could have easily taken one or two more.
Yeah.
But it also preps her headshot because she was in the brush, so it means she's going to be able to land a little bit extra damage on red buff for the Hecarim before returning to lane. So I think that those are that was definitely a worthwhile deception by her.
Yeah, for sure. And I wonder how much of that played into Rainy starting the red buff instead of the blue here. Um, obviously, you know, obviously Jarvan just doing a lot better with red buff in general, but, you know, who knows?
It looks like it did not cost Varus that much. He came nearly full health, I think, just from natural passive regen. Hopefully the team's marked where they're starting. It's always good to know where the jungler started. Like you said, J4 does well with red. It looks like he's starting red, and he's trying for something sneaky, but he's unfortunately spotted out on a ward. So he's going to be a little bit behind on farm, taking only a single camp. 2 Hecarims on his third. But he is trying for the deep bot side level 2 gank by J4. Incredibly risky because he's going to give up so much of his jungle if this doesn't work out. Here we go.
Yeah, Rainy is coming in from the side here. Here comes the Justice Punch. The taunt is good. He's able to get away, but Nemesis is forced to flash here. That's going to be a great stun by the Zillion here. The first blood is going to go over to Varus, and that is a very successful gank.
It was like by the skin of their teeth, ladies and gentlemen. Zillion had an incredible double bomb, triple stun to try and defend Nemesis, his Caitlyn. It ended up not quite being enough, and I was surprised that Lemon was able to make it out. Uh-oh, here we go topside.
Yeah. I am more digging exactly what we thought here, just taking a huge amount of punishment here. Lemon just flexing on top of this Scion right here and showing how much mastery he has of the Shen right here. And this is, you know, oh, yep, there we go. He's taunted. He's taken very low. He flashes. He's going to get that passive procced, and he's going to try to return as much damage as he can. But that Spirit Veil right there is going to keep him alive for just a little bit longer. Yeah, Moore's going to pick up some CS and go to bed.
Yep. So I will say that the normal cost of a level 2 gank like that by J4 is your topside jungle. Hecarim did take Raptors, but he didn't really go for anything else. I think that he should have taken Krugs as well. That there was a lot free there. Here we go bot side. J4 returning for a gank.
Yeah, I mean, this is what you got to do when you're playing a gank heavy champion like J4, but this is quickly turning into a 3v3, especially with that Galio very low behind him. So that's going to be him just backing away there.
Yeah, not just low, but I mean, Hecarim's got 24 CS to 17 on J4. He's going to have to reset. J4 hasn't bought yet. He's just going back for the first time. But this Hecarim, you know, when we get out on the map and we see second rotation ganks and first Drake, Hecarim is going to be a lot stronger than the J4. So I know they got that first kill bot side and it went to the Varus, but I am just not sure. I really don't know if it was worth it. And I mean, it was such a high risk play going from red buff all the way to bot. That is like an incredible amount of time spent not actively generating any gold. And yeah, you got the 1 kill, but we're going to see how the mid game plays out. We're still early right here. XFlow does have a 400 gold lead from that early gank, but I just don't know that it's going to translate.
Yeah, I mean, if they really want to get an advantage over the Hecarim, the J4, he's going to have to be babysitting this bot lane here. And with how much it's warded, it's going to be kind of hard for him to do so.
Absolutely. I mean, it looks like that's the plan. Here we have J4 sneaking in. I really think Dragons needs to get a pink ward in their try or have some defensive vision, because look at that J4. Brilliant pathing through the Krug pit with flag and drag, waiting for the cooldown to come up. It looks like Dragons backs off because they suspect something, but this is just instinct. They haven't seen anything. They don't know where he is yet, and he could still pop out of fog and cause a lot of trouble here on the bot side.
Yeah, and honestly, like, this is fine. Like, if Jarvan can exert this much pressure and get Varus to get free farm right here, they're freezing this wave. It has only just crashed in the center. They were able to get some free farm, some free XP. Like, now Varus is up 12, 11 CS now over the Caitlyn here.
Yep, and Hecarim is kind of pathing that way, but the J4 can still come in, and here it is, another
There's
guy.
the flash taunt. That's going to be the passive, and that's going to be a little bit extra damage. Rainy is now tanking the turret, and Hecarim is coming in for the side. That's going to be 2 kills for the Dragons of the West here. Azir is now teleported in, but it may be a little bit too late. Hecarim is looking for more, but it looks like he's just going to back off here as no one can also land any more abilities. Ooh, wait a minute. That's a stun onto the Azir right here. He's going to dash in. There's the Shurima shuffle again and go close to the Varus, and is going to gift that kill over to Prey on the bot side here, and that is going to be I think a 2 for 2 in the bot lane.
2 for 2. Caitlyn and Corki on the side of Dragons. For Rainy and Hammy, Galio, and J4.
This might be an all-in on the top side here. Shen doing a lot of damage on the I'm moored, and this might just be the tune of the top lane here.
I will say that though Sion has died twice, like in some ways tanks you don't really care because a tank is always going to do tank stuff. He's always going to soak damage in the late game, and he's gonna require a certain amount of time to kill. He does have 47 CS to the Shen's 37. So, yeah, the kills aren't great, but I think he's doing okay. It looks like we have Dragon taken by X. Well, yeah. Here we go.
Memory Lane looking for the steal here. He's not going to be able to find it. Meanwhile, the Sand United has come across, but Rainy is so incredibly low. He's going to get saved by the Shen, but it's not going to be enough. It's going to go away at just the last moment there. Rainy caught up on the side here. Meanwhile, Fish and Valor is now up against 3 members of the red team here, and he's going to go down. Meanwhile, Nemesis and Milf POV are looking for more, but have they overstepped? Looks like they're just going to back away now. They're still looking for some more here. Lemon wants some more value out of this teleport. Looks like they're just going to back away as Caitlyn just continues to pressure them out.
Yeah, I think that was a little ambitious by Dragons to try and contest, and the Corki mispositioned pretty horribly. He's got to know that he cannot mix it up and chase that kill. He really went deep for a kill that was just not really possible. I think Nemesis and Milf POV really played it well on the exit. Kiting, dealing damage, and you have to remember that Sion's getting free farm, so the counterplay to that lane is Sion just getting a massive wave on the top side, and there the Shen does TP to try and get control of the lane. But it is only a 1k lead by XFlow despite having 4 kills more under their belt.
Yeah, and I think it's really easy for the Sion to freeze here. I think just him standing underneath the turret, and he has a lot of wave clear as well, so even if there are a bunch of minions crashing into this turret, he should be able to get a decent chunk of gold and experience out of these minions.
Yep, for sure. Definitely a good farmer. Here we have a collapse on the Corki in the mid lane.
Yeah, Fish and Valor already dealing a huge amount of damage to the Azir here. Going to be forced to catch away. The Shurima shuffle comes out a little bit late. Obviously, XFlow really here recognizing that it came out a little late and emoting with the sad bee.
I've seen better shuffles, that's for sure. Good roam by the Galio. What do you need to do when your ADC's kind of farming, freezing a turret? Might as well make that mid lane roam. It doesn't take much to kind of tilt things in your favor. So I think that was a good roam. Hecarim 011, 66 CS to the J4's 42, but the J4's got those 4 assists. I think early game jungle has to go to Rainy of XFlow. He's done a nice job of making things happen. I really want to see Hecarim get involved and mix things up. It looks like he's going for top Herald. I don't mind that at all. I think that's a good objective to go for.
Yep.
But we have got to see, I call this bot lane as where it's going to be volatile. Oh my gosh, J4 sneaking through the Dragon Pit with flag and drag. Oh my gosh, Rainy's pathing is really, really good. Just avoiding vision at every moment, and they're gonna do another repeat gank.
Yeah,
last one was not successful.
He didn't get caught out. He's still fine. He's still fine here. They don't know he's there.
He does this. This is the second time he's done this deep path, but the...
Oh my god. Oh my... Okay, there's the flag, and Dragon is not able to find the knock up here, and that's gonna be the stun by Zillion. It is important to note that he did flash there, so it is... No summoners were spent. I believe, no, excuse me, Caitlyn did flash there. So that is going to be a flash for flash trade in the bot lane. And I just think this is just going to be Rainy just setting up a tent in the bot lane.
It is, but I mean, so far I don't know that they have necessarily held him down entirely.
that was a really, really good taunt by the Galio there. He did also taunt the Zillion even at the tail end of his flash. So that's really, really important. He burned 2 important summoner spells in the bottom lane here, which means that Rainy can come back down here. He can do his secret agent man sneak into the bot lane as Varus, hello? A little bit of an interesting ultimate there, dealing a decent chunk of poke damage onto the Hecarim here. Meanwhile, the Rift Herald is pop mid.
Yeah, Rift Herald pop mid, put some more gold in Efficient Valor's pocket. I know bot lane doesn't look great with the Kate and the Zillion getting low, but remember Zillion does have ult, so it's going to be really hard to pull that off. In the meantime, it looks like Hecarim has kind of caught out the Galio. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, Hammy is going to pop the Ignite here, and he's going to use Onslaught of Shadows to try to get away, but here comes Stand United. They're going to try to get onto the backside here, but that's going to be 2 members stunned up. XFlow Lemon not being able to find the taunt just yet. Shurima Shuffle comes out, but a little too early here, and it doesn't look like they're going to be able to find anything, but a lot of resources were spent.
A huge number of resources spent, except by the Scion.
Uh-oh! Uh-oh!
An amazing snipe by Nemesis, catching prey off guard at 2 bars. That Kate ult, Hammy has flash, Prey had heal. I don't know how he died with so many abilities that would have saved him in that moment.
Yeah.
I think that everybody was just like relaxed. Everybody's just chilling, going back to lane, picking up a couple farm on their way back to base. All of a sudden, Nemesis picks you off from 2,000 range. Nicely done.
I believe that was a shutdown as well. Yeah, he's going to pick up a bonus bounty of 300 gold, and that is pretty huge. I mean, even though Dragons is behind in the bottom lane here, they are ahead in pretty much every other lane in terms of CS.
Right.
And now with that shutdown as well, you know, that's a lot of gold swing in the favor.
Gold lead for Dragons. Like a minute ago, we were talking about how XFlow had a K. Now Dragons have the gold lead, and they probably have a better scaling comp. Kate, a well-known hyper carry in the late game. Corki, monster once he gets a couple items under his belt. Scion, an infinite scaler. It looks like Dragons is also picking up a free Drake off of that pick. But if they get an early lead, I don't know what's gonna stop them.
Yeah, and we now see the Cloud Soul being picked up here, and both teams need 3 Cloud Drakes in order to get the Soul, so that's going to be a lot of ultimate cooldown for both teams here. So what team do you think wants this this Cloud Soul more?
Absolutely, the Dragons are hoping for it. I will say, I gotta point this out, but the Zillion Milk POV has hit multiple double bombs in like critical situations where they were getting engaged on in the bot side. You don't often get to see his Zillion. It is just so frequently banned out since he's a Zillion main, but man, he is really putting work in on that Zillion. So I gotta applaud the performance so far.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Milk POV doing a really, really great job. There's a lot of times where he got like, he nearly got the triple stun onto the Shen as well when it's Stand United during the last team fight. So this is, you know, Milk POV definitely a player to watch here in this game.
Absolutely. Look at this Shen battle with the Scion. It no longer looks like Shen's gonna get some easy kills. Scion has Bramble Vest. He's got a little armor under his belt, a little bit of health, and it now looks like, you know, maybe he has it outscaled, but it just doesn't look like he's gonna be able to feed. He's gonna feed that lane at all. Uh-oh, Hecarim.
Oh yeah, here it comes. Fast Pony coming into the side. He's going to use Onslaught of Shadow. He's going to be able to find the kill on the prey. Now Hammy is the target. It takes a little bit of damage from the Aftershock, but he's taking so much more from the Caitlyn, and that's going to be a killing spree going over to Dragon's Nemesis.
Fantastic. That's what I wanted to see. The Hecarim coming in at 90 miles an hour with a Zillion speed up and just half healthing Prey from 100% with 1 hit. That's not even the ult. It's just a disgusting amount of damage. We've got Triforce on that horse now. He is very, very strong. Early game is over. J4 has had his time in the sun. It is time for the horse to impact this map. You know, we talked when Memory Lane was 0-1-1 about how we wanted him to get out on the map and make some more things happen. I think he has officially done that, and I do not think he's going to stop. This game is definitely heating up, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah,
for sure. I mean, this is also XFlow's game to still they're still in this game. I mean, they still have 2 pretty good scalers. Varus looking for more of a kind of a late game kind of build, especially picking up that Mana Moon pretty early, but they are slowly losing ground on this map here as Lemon looking to engage onto the Mord here. He's taken very low. That's going to be the ultimate as well. The taunt is coming across, and that's going to be the passive popped. 4 members in the top lane here. but they did lose a tower in the bot lane in response.
Yeah, I don't mind it. I think 4 is probably overkill, and I wish that they had killed the Scion in his undead phase. He cleared like 4 minions. There's only 2 left in that wave. There's no point in letting him get that gold. They could easily have had a bigger minion wave and just a more effective push if they go ahead and kill his dead form. Uh-oh, Hecker, I'm waiting in the in the fog. Let's see what happens here.
Oh yeah, looks like he's just waiting on the wings here. It doesn't look like he's going to be the one to engage, but Hammy is going to be able to find a taunt. I think they're just going to back away. Both teams not wanting to commit 100% because it looks like the XFlow is looking for the Rift Herald here.
Yeah, XFlow is looking for the Rift Herald. I actually don't think Dragons should have conceded this. I think that they've got more strength on the map with the Corki, Hex, Scion. I think that this is going to give enough tower damage for them to lose a tower, and I think contesting maybe would have been a better play. Once you kind of turn the corner on a scaling comp like Dragons have, they have a 3.5k lead at this point. You really don't want to give any objectives for free. Like, it doesn't make sense if you're the stronger team to concede objectives. So I think that was something that they could potentially have fought for. It looks like they rotated bot lane all the way to top just to pull them back down after a single wave. Not a huge fan of that either.
Yeah, it seems interesting that they know that the opposing team has the Rift Herald and there's no more plates in the top side, so that might be a turret going down if they're not careful.
Yeah, I think you're likely right. I will say that Scion is not going to get that top turret. Here we go with that Rift Herald. Good prediction. So it does make sense to rotate Kate up top if you're trying to take the outer. It's also possible that they just wanted to
they
pull
are
top
going
lane
to
back.
engage here. Yeah, Moore taking a huge chunk of damage. Azir coming in from the side here, looking for something. Corki does have the package. He's not going to use it just yet. Galio going to dash in. The Sand Soldier's getting a little close. Everyone's not just jockeying for position. A huge chunk of damage coming out of Yaman Mort here, and the rest of the blue team is here to help out. No one is just going to engage. Both teams are just going to back away.
I think this was meant to just be a distraction. Dragons knew that that was going to go. Their intent was always to try and take this next Drake. Here we go at the Drake.
Yeah, they're gonna try to get onto Rainy here, but here comes the ultimates across from the map. Galio and Shen are here to save, but Mel POV is on a killing spree as Rainy is the first to go down in this fight. The Jarvan wall is gonna keep Hammy there just a little too long, and he's gonna fall because of it. That's going to be a 2-for-0. Yeah, Mort is snared up by the Varus ultimate, but there's not a whole lot to follow up, and that's going to be also Dragon control going over to Dragons of the West.
Absolutely. Nice fight. So they know that Galio and Shen are on the top side of the map. They engage onto Rainy, I believe, knowing that if they take the jungler out, it's a free dragon. And even though he receives the Galio ult and the Shen ult, Corki packaging in is able to lay down enough damage to take him out, even with those 2 shields coming through. And yes, Corki's able to get out with his life, burns flash on the exit, but they're able to even pick up the Galio too. So 2-for-0 plus Drake, looking at a 4k gold lead. So the gold lead didn't really increase at all because the turret taken on the top side by XFlow. But if you want to talk about fighting strength, I just think Dragons have a lot of fighting strength at this point in the game, and they should keep looking to fight for objectives, push side lanes, make sure they get their lane assignments and pick up all the farm. But at this point, the scaling's kind of coming into play. I will say it's kind of. Have you seen a Zillion ult connect yet?
I don't think so. I don't think I've seen a whole lot of them. He's mostly been throwing out bombs, and it doesn't seem like he's had to ult anyone just yet.
I mean, his ult just came off cooldown, so I think he's using it, but I can't say that I have seen him ult somebody in a super impactful situation that, like, saves somebody's life yet. And obviously, that is one of Zillion's key abilities, so you do expect to see...
No POV getting... Oh my god!
I think I could have seen it there. I think that'd have been a good moment for it.
Yeah, probably would have been a good idea. Prey X picking up a huge kill. Ooh, Rainy coming in from the side here. Going to use his ultimate, but going to proc the flash from Nemesis. But the Cataclysm does have a lower cooldown than Flash, so we'll probably see that happening up again pretty soon.
Yeah, I think that Kate was way out of position, stepping way too close to that mid lane brush, allowing J4 to get on her with Flag and Drag without Flash. I mean, I think that Nemesis has got to be a little bit more careful, particularly when you see J4 clearing the wards. Again, no objectives happen, so a random kill in the mid lane, yeah, it's worth a little gold, but really, in the grand scheme of League, it's the kills that lead to objectives that really like end games. So not too much to worry about, but they need to be maybe tighten up a little bit. Maybe Zillion has to ult himself when he gets down to that 300, because that Varus definitely had execute damage on that Q.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I didn't even expect that kill to happen. I expected like Zillion to take a lot of damage and maybe back, but like he got hit by the tip of the Varus ultimate, and then he got the full charge of the Q. I don't think he even expected himself to die as well. I mean, Varus barely had. I didn't think he had Muramana finished at the time, and
I mean,
he only had a serrated Dirk.
he didn't have the Duskblade.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, he didn't have the Duskblade. He did have a serrated Dirk though.
Yeah, I don't know. Man. Zillion popped. It was quick despite the 59 armor he's got, so he's definitely just going to have to kind of keep an eye out. Oof.
Yeah, a little bit of poke damage onto Rainy here. I don't know if using that ace in the hole there is particularly useful, but it is only just above a minute cooldown. Hammy just taken a little too far in, and he's just going to be immediately punished there. The Zillion slow being absolutely horrendous for him. And now the whole team needs to now defend against a 5-man push from the Dragons of the West.
I don't think they can actually get that much done. Again, it's just another kill without objectives. Unless they wanted to set up around Baron, but I still think it's early. Ooh, they found Shen.
Yeah, they did find Shen. Memory Lane dealing a decent chunk of damage here. Here comes the challenging smite as well. Corki has now come over the wall. They're looking for something. The stun is not going to land from the Zillion. XFlow Lemon might be able to get away here, but here comes the speed up in from Zillion. There's a decent chunk of damage coming down. He's so close. He's going to go down. That's going to be Lemon caught out and a shutdown over onto the Heckler.
Yeah, I think that's, it's just another pick in the jungle. I don't think Baron is a good idea here. They still have J4 up, and of course Shen can get in and get in with ult and get in with TP. This is 22 minutes. Baron is still fairly difficult. There's not like a huge amount of damage on the team, so we're going to see a fight here. There's no way XFlow's going to get this for free. Let's see.
Yeah, that's going to be 2,000 damage. The Varus ultimate is going to come across here. Yeah, Mort is taken so incredibly low. The Azir is almost take him out, but both teams are now just trying to force them off the Baron here. XFlow looking for just a little bit more damage. Looks like they're just going to scare them off the Baron.
I think it would have been easy for them to take top turret. Oh my gosh, the Azir's in super deep here.
Oh my god, the Rainy is looking for more damage. Here comes the bounce to the house, and now it is 4v2 down on the bot side here. Rainy's going to flash over the wall away from the Caitlyn. That's going to be shut down goal going on to the Azir. That is huge. Hammy now into the bot. That's going to be the choo-choo train coming down from the Scion, but he's not going to be able to find the kill. Corki's going to instead. There comes the wall down from Azir, but they're going to use it as an escape tool to protect them from any flashes. As I believe, a 2-for-1 done in that top side there.
Yeah, but that was Corki's package, and all they got was Galio. It was a little bit sloppy recall by Dragon. So about a minute ago, they pick off Shen in the jungle at blue buff, and he's kind of recalling there. And I don't know that they really like put it together, but they were on wards like way too much. Uh-oh, here we go, more action at the Dragon Pit.
Yeah, Varus is looking for a little bit of poke damage. Shen is in the middle of this. There's nothing to teleport to for the Azir just yet, but he is here. Here comes the Varus ultimate across. They're going to be able to find the kill on a Hecarim, and yeah, Mort is going to pop his ult, his passive as well, but he's in the middle. Corki's doing a huge amount of damage. That's going to be another kill going down for the Corki here. Fish and Valor is looking for more. That's going to be the flash forward from the Zillion here. Rainy is trying to keep them off his team as long as possible. The EQ is not going to land, but here comes Ace in the hole across the way. Lemon is going to block up the skill. MILF POV looking for a little bit more, but not going to be able to find it. That's going to be a 2-for-2, and no Dragon is taken. Actually, Dragon was taken. Hecarim was able to pick it up.
Yeah, impressive that they're able to get so much there. The Dragon obviously like really important, and it looks like Kate's actually able to take a mid turret off the back of that fight. Dragon's really good at skirmishing, and these Dragon fights, when Fish and Valor on his Corki comes in late, he has scaled. He has 2 full items, 213 farm, most farm in the game by a good bit. He is definitely a force to be reckoned with. It is only a 3k gold lead, so XFlow are just going toe-to-toe after giving up in the mid-game a couple kills. So I think the most concerning thing is that Dragons are now on Soul Point. They pick up one more Soul. They're looking at Cloud Dragon, Ultimate Ability Haste. Obviously going to be super impactful on Scion, Hecarim, even Zillion. My goodness, what will Zillion's ult cooldown be with that?
Yeah, I mean, the cooldown for it is already 42 seconds, and that's already insane, the amount of ability haste he already has, and just tacking on more ability haste for specifically his ultimate. I think he's also running Ultimate Hunter? No, he's not. Okay. But,
Yeah, the Zillions that run Ultimate Hunters are amazing in terms of cooldown.
And let's just see both the teams just jockeying here. Hammy looking for a little bit more, but not being able to find it. Looks like Baron is the fight here. Oh my god! Bray just being able to find the kill here, and that's just kind of Varus damage right there being shown.
I think they're continuously underestimating the amount of damage Varus does. It is a lethality Varus. He is bursty, not sustained.
Oh yeah, looks like Rainy wants a little bit more action too. He's gonna get the Cataclysm across, and Stand United is here to join him. And now here comes the heroic entrance. The Zillion ultimate is going to pop onto Fish and Valor here. Now their memory lane is gonna come across with the onslaught of shadows. Meanwhile, the Azir wall in the backline is gonna keep Sion away from the carry just for a little bit longer, but this might be the fight that XFlow has been looking for. 3 members are already down. This might be the 4th as well. Lemon looking for the kill onto MilPOV, but he's going to get taken down by the Ignite himself. That is going to be a 4-for-1 in favor of XFlow.
Yeah, XFlow just doing a great job of team fighting, and this is where we get to that like team identity. XFlow know that they want to use their Galio ult, their Shen ult to protect, to pin someone down. And the Corki just could not get away. Corki going down in that fight, I mean, after the Kate pick, it just lost all tempo. I think this Dragon's pretty free. Kate's not going to be able to contest. And if you look at the kills across the board...
Corki's teleporting.
Too late.
Oh man, that might be a little bit too late. Flashes have been spent. They're still looking for something here. They haven't been able to find it. Corki is looking. They're all just looking for something to get off of this Baron play, but the XFlow is just running for the hills, and they're going to be a getaway just fine.
So I think there are times when you should just give up on defending an objective. There was no way you were taking that Baron, but you could easily get top turret if you were Dragons. I think that would have been a much better play. Yeah. The Varus, 626, 212 CS. He's got a very interesting build, but he did just buy Last Whisperer full out, which is going to help him even more with his lethality build. And it looks like Corki's
looking
out of
for
position.
Something on the Fish and Valor here. He's already done a decent... Oh my god, that's so much damage onto the Fish and Valor here. He doesn't have a lot of backup from his team, though. He's going to block a little bit of damage. Corki's going to back away. Rainy coming in just a little too late. And looks like they're just going to back off the Corki here.
No, I think they could have picked him off. The only reason I think they back off is maybe they know they need to prep for Dragon. We got Dragon in 47, but look at the Kate in the mid lane. She's exposed to that J4. If he can gap close, he does have Flash. It would not take much for him to get Cataclysm down on her. She does not have Flash nor heal, so... yeah, I don't know why Fish and Valor is topside. We got Dragon spawning in 28. He doesn't have TP up. So it looks like XFlow is definitely going to have the inside track here. Shen clearing top wave, but has ult to get into the fight. I think this will be a big one, and I don't even mind Dragons really selling out for this. Obviously, if they get Soul, it's a huge stat buff. It's a big deal. So I don't mind if they want to kind of put it all out on this fight with a chance to win, and if they don't, then, you know, they just continue to play it out.
Yeah,
so
there's the speed up on the memory lane. Let's see if he uses that as an engage.
Oh, Corki's going for the big flank. Could be good.
Oh,
could be
yeah,
good.
He's got the package. They're looking for it. They're trying to just kind of stage just a little bit to the outside here, try to bait them a little bit more in so they can get a more impactful package here. It's a decent chunk of damage onto Rue here. But the longer they take, but here comes the fight here. The package comes across. Memory Lane is going to try to get back on the Rue on the backside, but that's going to be Azir protecting him on the backside. The heroic entrance is just going to protect this Varus as he continues to deal just so much damage. Rainy is going to fall as the rest of the carries are trying to fight him, but now it's Rue and Prey who are now trying to deal the damage back. That's going to be Nemesis going to turn it around a bit. Rue's going to be able to find the kill on a Zillion, but Fish and Valor is still alive. 1 versus 1. Here we go. Corki versus Varus. Corki is going to be able to find the kill with the missile.
Fish and Valor taking the team on his back, packaging across the entire team. I don't even know how you survive on a squishy carry like Corki like that. But he gets across the team with a great package, splits the fight. They get J4 immediately with the bot side. And then Hecarim and Sion with the Corki able to do enough damage to the front line that Corki was eventually able to take the whole fight. And Dragon Soul pretty much on his own. Huge win. And I think that XFlow XFlow were, I felt like they really had momentum going into that dragon fight, and they could have, and they had a good shot at winning that fight, but it ended up being like won by a sliver. That Cork coming out on top. But now I think the pendulum swings once more back in favor of Dragons. They're going to be looking for Baron at 233. I don't think that they're going to have a lot of success pushing side lanes and making anything happen in between. They really need that Baron. Think about it. We got Shen in a side lane. We got Galio pushing mid wave. They've got a lot of map pressure, and they can join fights. They would love to split 1-3-1 and have Hecarim engage on somebody and then bring the whole team in the blink of an eye. So I think we're probably in for a slow 2 minutes, just trying to farm out, push waves, pick up jungle farm. But that was a huge win. Ultimate cooldown reduction going to be big across the team. We're looking at a Zillion on a 36-second cooldown. Unbelievable.
Yeah, and that's such a powerful tool in a lot of these fights where, XFlow is looking to get 3-on-1 onto some of these squishy characters. So having that ability to, get that res off is insanely important. Brew, a bit of damage from the ace in the hole. Is there going to be more here? Memory Lane is waiting on the side here. He is getting faster. There is the ultimate coming across. He's going to get on top of Rainy. The Cataclysm is going to keep him just in place, and Memory Lane is going to dive onto the roof, onto Prey on the backside, but he's going to back away. Meanwhile, in the top lane, that's going to be Lemon fighting Sion once again. Meanwhile, the bot lane, Memory Lane might have chomped off a little bit more than he can chew, and that's going to be going down the bot lane 1-for-1.
That's the problem with Hecarim. He's too fast. Zillion has ult up, but Zillion cannot catch up to the fight. Oh my goodness. They did successfully push this lane, and it looks like Sion is staying alive against the Shen. I think they're going to take more turrets here.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, they have such high-range characters that really only Varus can answer, and he's so squishy. He has to have someone standing in front of him, and without Shen there and Galio being low health, he can't really tank these missiles from Corki being shot into his team.
I mean, that missile was 40% of his health with a single. I assume it was the big one, but he's definitely suffering at his hands. I feel like he's almost descaling a bit. What do you think about Chempunk Chainsword? I saw that in the Varus build, and I was just unsure.
I mean, there is a decent chunk of healing on Dragons of the West. I don't think it works with Zillion ultimate, but it does also help counter the Moonstone Renewer on their team, and it does help counter the bit of healing that Hecarim and Sion do. So I think the thought here is that Prey is like, hey, these tanks that kind of rely on healing are going to be diving me. If I can turn off their healing, I should be able to turn a fight into my favor.
Maybe so. I guess when I look at a team and I see somebody with 7 kills, 739, obviously a really strong line with Prey, and he's been one-shotting MilPOV and Nemesis every now and then in the fights. And I just feel like when you're that guy, you itemize for whatever's going to keep that snowball getting bigger and bigger. And I just don't think Chainsword is the kind of thing you build in that circumstance. I don't know whether there's another lethality item he could pick up or something that would allow him to have extra movement speed or position better, but I just thought that was an interesting pickup. So we are ready for the Baron dance, ladies and gentlemen. Dragons definitely want it.
Yeah, but the Dragons definitely look like they want to start this, or just as I say that, they immediately back away. I saw the Zillion speed up on a memory lane, and I saw him getting faster, so I was like, oh yeah, they're going to engage here, but it looks like they're just going to peel backwards and get onto the Baron.
I will say I don't like the lane assignment. Sion should be bot lane matching the Shen with TP, but if they're definitely going to contest. Here we go, XFlow. Let's see what you got.
Yeah, they're gonna have to go in soon. This Baron is already ticking pretty low here. Hammy looking for something on the Nemesis, but they're not gonna be able to find it. Here comes the flag and drag across. He's gonna go golden. This is going to be the heroic entrance as well. Stand United is coming across, but will be able to complete. And now the Azir ultimate has separated the two teams in the Baron pit, but it doesn't look like it's going to be enough as everyone starts falling to the Corki. That's going to be a triple kill to the Hecarim and a double kill to the Corki. That's a good old full house and a full ace for Dragons of the West.
Nicely played by Dragons. Just patient, waiting for the objectives, knowing they can't push too hard in side lanes, getting it done. Quite frankly, I think the Shen ult was on J4 and it barely completed. He was almost left stranded in the bot lane in that fight, which would have been, I think, an even bigger disaster. The Corki, 839, Fish and Valor's the carry on Dragons. You got to know that. You got to try and contain him. They spent an incredible amount of time. Rainy spent an incredible amount of time getting prey fed in the bot lane. But in the end, the Varus wasn't able to really match the Corki in those team fights. So when they go to game 2, I want to see what XFlow brings out. They already leveled a huge number of bans against Fish and Valor. They might ban the Corki, but he's going to come out with something else. I think even better than like banning is trying to like pick a comp that's going to neutralize the carry. So I don't know whether J4, given that Corki was so mobile, maybe J4 had trouble locking him down. I definitely thought the Galio had some good moments. And I appreciated the fact that they had such a cohesive team comp with Shen and the global ultimates, kind of people swooping in and down on those picks. But it looks like, I don't know if they need a little more lockdown for someone fed who got away, but I'm hoping that they can bring out something different, either a different team comp or maybe a couple picks here and there.
Yeah, for sure. But with that, we are going to go to a quick break. And when we come back, Dragons of the West and XFlow Esports are going into picks and bans for game 2. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more League of Legends right after this. Hello, everyone. Welcome to XFlow Esports Season 6. I am once again Shinkari, joined by once again Merlin, as we once again go into a game of XFlow Esports versus Dragons of the West, and we are once again in picks and bans.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I love picks and bans. It's one of my favorite parts of the game. I think anytime you're in picks and ban, you can get a 60%, you can get a 60-40 edge if you draft correctly, if you draft well. Right now, it looks like Dragons of the West say, "Hey, we beat you. You've got to come at us. You gotta make us do something different." They're banning the same Camille, GP, Udyr. I actually don't like that. I think Dragons could have gotten a very easy edge by keeping the GP and hitting the Shen. Like, clearly they're not going to pick the GP over the Shen. They're looking for like these global taunts, but they're still leaving XFlow up with both Shen and Galio, which they showed they were willing to take in the front half of the draft. So I think that is just, I don't know, a little sloppy possibly, but I think they could optimize their draft. That was a close game. It definitely could have gone either way. XFlow, in addition to taking blue side, switching sides is generally a good idea when you go down game one. But they also are able to incorporate a different ban. So they hit the Hecarim, which was pretty impactful in the mid game, over the Seraphine ban. But instead of letting the Seraphine ban through, they pick it themselves. So they will have a different bot lane comp. We're not looking at the Galio bot anymore. Dragons responds with Caitlyn, comfort pick for Nemesis. I think it obviously a super solid, strong laner. Despite dying a couple times, was impactful in the game. And they pick up Olaf, which should be an interesting pick. I kind of love Olaf into Seraphine. She's super squishy, and being unable to CC Olaf, he can generally get to her and do a lot of damage.
I mean, that's really what you want to be doing against the Seraphine. Like, getting to her is hard, but once you're there, there's not a whole lot that she can do. Like, she needs to have the double cast on her slow in order to keep you away from her. But Olaf doesn't, just kind of ignores all of that and just kind of runs at you. So this is a very good counter pick into the Seraphine, even though the rest of his team will have a hard time against that Seraphine ultimate. Rel also being picked up here, meaning that is going to be a mid lane Seraphine.
I think that Rel is a very, very strong individual champ, but I actually, again, they're like doubling down on CC against an Olaf. And I think the only way to really get an Olaf down, unless he makes mistakes, is to have a lot of damage. You really want something that's bursty. You don't want something that holds people still. Like right now they've got Seraphine, Rel, Sivir, which are not super high burst champions. And when an Olaf is running at you 90 miles an hour, you really want a lot of damage in a very short amount of time. You want an Annie, you want a Victor, you want something that's gonna, and there are supports that can kind of dish out a good deal of damage in a short period of time. So I think that's, so far, I know we're only halfway through the draft, but I think that's a little bit of a hole. I do love the Scion pick. It's worth mentioning that Dragons of the West are using a sub top lane. And I believe, I'm going to double check, this is Yaya I Am Mord. He is gold 4, and he is going up against a diamond 2. And quite frankly, I think his Scion was fantastic. He held his own, he was relevant, he had good ults, and in the mid game, Lemon was unable to kill him. That's exactly what you want when we're talking about a 2-tier difference, 2.5 tiers, gold 4 to diamond 2. So the Scion pick, really effective. He did a great job on him top side, only died twice in lane. I thought that was a great job, and I really like Dragons going back to that pick. Scion also fits in like any comp, so that helps as well.
I mean, it's also important that, like we talked about it, having this 2-tier, this kind of skill difference between these top laners when you have a sub who might not be as comfortable, sometimes just picking them a champion that really only needs to press one button or needs to play safe in lane is mostly fine. I think we talked about this in the previous game where we're like, I don't know how it's going to be in the top lane versus the Shen. Like he's going to die a whole lot, and he did, right? He finished that game 0-7. But what was really important about that Scion pick was that he just came to the team fights, he pressed his ultimate, and got a huge impact out of it. So this is like when you're having this kind of skill matchup difference in the top lane, having a character that you can just kind of show up to a team fight, be impactful regardless of your items, and still be able to is very, very good.
I love it. And not only that he's able to press R, he also has to eat 4,000 damage. And when he goes into death form, he causes trouble.
Yeah.
When Scion goes into death form at the end of a team fight, people are low, like people split, everybody's like crazy in that moment. And there were a couple times that he provided just enough distraction for Fish and Valor to get a lot done on the Corki. We do have a Mordekaiser counter, which is very interesting. Ooh, and a Rek'Sai, which which can be really, really good. I got to think about it in the comp. What do you think about the Rek'Sai Mordekaiser?
Rek'Sai Mordekaiser is interesting. I think the Mordekaiser pick will be interesting to like single out a person and take them out of a team fight. I think that's my favorite thing about the new Mord. The Mord changes, just having him teleport into a team fight and make it a 4v4 is really, really good. And a lot of times he wins those 1v1s. Rek'Sai being picked up is really interesting. She is kind of the same as the Jarvan, wants to go buff gank, or even in some cases buff gank. You know, this very early game efficient janking jungler that has a lot of mobility, and you know, even in the late game, like Rek'Sai is going to have some tanky stats, but I feel like especially with that ultimate is going to be using it offensively and trying to deal as much damage as possible.
And I don't hate him into Olaf. He's kind of what you want. Someone a little burstier, someone high damage. I will say Mordekaiser not going to be able to ult Olaf. Is that right? Can he Ragnarok out? Or if he's Ragnarok, does he never go in?
That's interesting. I want to say it works like a QSS where he can't be targeted by the ability. QSS does take you out of the Shadow Realm. I might need to get some confirmation on that, because that's an interaction I do not have a 100% answer to.
Yeah, I'm not totally sure either. So I love Rek'Sai. He has kind of interesting, awkward jungle routes, and I want you to think about last game. Last game, J4 snuck through the dragon pit with flag and drag over and over again. He wrapped around pass, he avoided tri-brush and got him to position behind the dragons, ADC and bot lane, and then he went in with dragon flag, and sometimes it worked and sometimes it didn't. But now he's on Rek'Sai. Now he just flashes and knocks up, and you get the follow-up from the Rel, and it is, I think, an even more threatening lane. J4 doesn't really lay down a lot of damage. Rek'Sai does. He can ult under tower and still generally make it out. So I think the Rek'Sai, again, XFlow's going for the same strategy. They're going bot lane focused. They're going to try and take down the very, very squishy Zyra Kate. They're going to have to be really on their toes for these ganks. I will say it's not quite as easy to get behind the enemy team when you're blue side and they're red side. The dragon pit doesn't really provide you the same kind of access as it does when you're playing on red side.
Yeah.
But I do think that the Rek'Sai is going to be a fun pick, going to be an interesting pick, and should be impactful. I will say Fish countered with Tristana. Oh my god, Tristana. That is a disgusting scaler. I played a game earlier today where we had a Tristana ADC, and the whole team was like, I don't know, 3-13, and the Tristana was 5-1, and she basically 1v9 the whole time. There was nothing the other team could do.
Yeah, I mean, this is a very slippery team comp that Dragons have drafted here, and honestly, I'm a big fan. Caitlyn is very hard to lock down because of the amount of mobility and zoning that she has. Olaf has an ultimate to clear CC. And also Tristana is another character that's very hard to lock down. And in between these characters that are very hard to lock down, you have a lot of zone control between Zyra, and you have a very impactful ultimate from Scion as well. So this is a very, very cool team comp that Dragons of the West have drafted. And honestly, even though XFlow has Seraphine, which I have on record on Style Esports, I have said that Seraphine is the most broken champion in the game currently, and you should ban her or pick her every game. And even though they have this very powerful pick in Seraphine, I think it's going to be very hard for XFlow to win these team fights and really lock down Dragon.
Yeah, I think that Tristana into Seraphine. So Seraphine mid is a low threat mid. She is like a Lulu mid, a Karma mid. She's utility, incredible wave clear, not a lot of damage, not a lot of threat, particularly if she goes Moonstaff. Tristana, on the other hand, can gap close, can deal a lot of burst in a short amount of time, hard to gank. Rek'Sai shows his face, Tristana buster shots him a million miles away. I think that it, it is a potentially very dangerous pick. I would be very concerned as XFlow, and I want to I hope that they understand that Tristana getting fed is a win condition for Dragons. Like the rest of the map will not matter if Fish gets fed on Tristana.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, even if Tristana takes a more defensive kind of like a teleport here, you can put Tristana in a side lane, and Tristana will be able to push super hard. So even if they decide to go a 1-3-1, like I don't hate Scion being able. Scion has a lot of wave clear, can push really hard, and then with the teleport on both mid and top, this looks like a very good 1-3-1 comp. Even though I don't think that's exactly what they were looking for.
Absolutely. I do want to say that the Zyra is also a nice pick. The support for Dragons of the West, they did not know that the Rek'Sai was down. Rek'Sai is obviously a counter to the Zyra and the Kate, but Zyra will help disengage Sivir and Rel. Like, that is a team comp that wants to run at you, and Zyra is great against teams that want to run at you. She will disengage with snares and slows and her ult and help that Caitlyn get out while simultaneously dishing damage. I will say the only other thing is, like, the Shen Sion top matchup. Yeah, Shen got a couple kills, but he wasn't really able to snowball. Mordekaiser has some small chance of just obliterating the lane over and over again. If he's got good wave control and can get a couple early kills and just get stronger than the Sion, I don't think there's any way Sion will be able to match. So a win condition on the part of XFlow is that Mordekaiser just solo dumpstering the Sion, which I don't think was a possibility on Shen. He just doesn't have that capabilities, and they were playing too much to side lanes. I am excited to get in the game, though. This one should be a banger.
Yeah, for sure. But with that, we are going to take just a brief break as we get into Summoner's Rift. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with XFlow Esports versus Dragons of the West Game 2 right after this short break. Don't go anywhere. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Style Esports Season 6. We have Dragons of the West on the red side and XFlow on the heels of a loss in their Game 1 against the Dragons, and we are in Game 2. We're finally on the Rift. Lines of scrimmage have been drawn, and I have to very quickly call out memory lane because there was a gentleman's agreement not to pick Olaf, and then he did. And then in response to say, no, dude, it's cool, it's Broloff, and then it's not Broloff. So I really have to call out memory lane here. Buddy, you lied to not only me, but your opponents. And honestly, that's just a negative on your character. And for real, dude, I just don't know what to say. Honestly.
I will say that Dragons lost the level 1. Tristana went to the mid lane, started dancing, and what did she get for her troubles? A Sivir boomerang to the face, forcing the recall and allowing Seraphine to get a deep ward on Raptors. So there's no gentleman dance at the beginning of this game. This one is just cold-blooded. It looks like both junglers are starting bot side. This has the potential for some fireworks. It means that Rek'Sai and Olaf are both going to be pathing top side. They're both going to be looking for something on the top side of the map, looking for that top scuttle. And it'll be interesting to see who gets the best of who in that situation. Also, Seraphine has amazing wave clear, but no one waves clear like Trist. Trist was able to jam the first wave all the way to base and get a ward on Raptors, trying to spot out that Rek'Sai. So I really think
spotting out as well.
Right, I really think this mid lane's going to be dynamic.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Seraphine, I don't think exactly Seraphine needs to really scale ahead. I think as long as you have Moonstone Renewer, you should be fine. It's just another one of those champions that as long as you show up to team fights and get a good ultimate, you're doing your job exactly fine. Is more of a bloodbath in the top lane.
Yeah, that Mordekaiser's gonna, so you've got to be super careful as the Scion with wave control. If he gets zoned out of the wave with Mordekaiser and kill pressure, it'd be super bad. I will say that the Triss ward zoned Rek'Sai out of Raptors. So he is kind of a camp behind Olaf. He's going to get out to topside with 3 camps. But he's definitely going to be down XP and camps. And the wave is topside is not in a super good position for a gank. I think flash ult, they flash knock up, they probably still get it.
Yeah, but this is still going to be able to find the knock up. Not as big as you'd want. Rainy is caught underneath turret, though. That's a huge amount of damage. He's not going to go down. But Olaf is waiting on the side there, not going to engage. Rek'Sai is just going to back away by the skin of their teeth.
I'm going to say it. Yaya Mord, MVP, surviving the pressure from the Rek'Sai, and the Rek'Sai gave up a lot to make that happen. Oh my gosh, we got Memory Lane coming around on Olaf. I don't know. It looks like he's going to go for the Rek'Sai instead of top lane, but I wish he'd gone for the Mordekaiser.
Yeah, but we do have a gank here in the mid side. Hammy coming in to try to put a little bit of pressure onto Fish Valor, but it might be turning around as Hammy's taking so much damage here. He's rooted, but that bomb is going to explode. That's going to be first blood going over to Tristana, and Olaf is going to find Rek'Sai with a stray thrown axe. And if you're XFlow, this is disastrous.
This is really rough. Look at the CS. Olaf has 27 CS, is gonna double scuttles, taking Raptors. Trist has an early kill off of a Rel Roam. The Rel Roam means bot for Dragons has eternal priority, and there's not much that they can do to get any presence there. So I do not like, this is the second time. Rainy did this on J4, and he did this on Rek'Sai. He's taking these super aggressive jungle pass to get him out on the map and make some sort of early gank happen. And if you remember last game, it worked. They got Nemesis, they got a kill, but he was massively down in CS, and the Hecarim was able to stay relevant and do well. Now, the early gank didn't work. And in fact, you actually fed 2 kills, and I think that you're really going to see the weakness of an early gank without properly taking your camps in this match.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this is also I don't think you even need to gank. This is just me, just kind of theorizing that. I don't think a gank in the top lane is particularly valuable because, we're already seeing Mord, run away with this top lane so far. He's 7 CS up. He's doing so much damage to the Scion. Even when he's underneath turret, he's able to pressure him. So, although you want that gank in the top lane, that maybe it would have been better to look for maybe Trist. But, this is just me theorizing at this point.
I actually love the top gank. I think that they misplayed it. Mordekaiser threw out his E, the pullback, and Rek'Sai did not flash. If you're going to make all this happen, you flash, unburrow, knock up the Mordekaiser, and get the pull. And in an ideal world, what happens is you get the kill, you jam the wave, Scion TP's back, and then you kill him again when he pushes. Here we go.
Oh no, Hammy taking a decent chunk of damage here. Milk POV coming from around the wall. Here comes the Seraphine ultimate, but it's too little, too late. Fish and Valor is going to be able to get over the wall, and Rainy is not going to be able to find any CC. And this is what we are talking about, a very slippery team composition.
Yeah, the reset on the rocket jump for Tristana is a very powerful ability, and it allows Tristana to get in and out. I really think that the Rek'Sai has just got to go buff. He's got to go bot over and over again. Here we go. Mordekaiser with his first goal.
Yeah, he's pulled him into the Shadow Realm. Cyan has responded with his own ult. He's going to flash around the Q here. Cyan has already taken a huge chunk of damage, but he's going to flash behind his turret. And no one has been killed yet, but both ultimates have been spent in the top lane.
I mean, I think Yaya Mort is doing great. Like, he has survived 2 ganks. He's done even better than last game in what is honestly like a much tougher matchup. Fantastic. Fantastic play by the Scion.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, we did actually get an answer to the question that we saw before. If you are pulled into the Shadow Realm as Olaf and press Ragnarok, you will be outside the Shadow Realm. So someone should have probably told Yugi that in like the middle of season 2. Maybe he would have, you know, saved one of his friends here and there. I think Joey and Taya got mind controlled in season 2. I'm making references to a show probably no one watches, but you know, it's cool. Whatever.
Look at this Olaf hunting.
Oh yeah, he's gonna find out the Rek'Sai here. Rek'Sai is already so low. Rainy having to give up the red buff here. Yeah, not going to be able to find it with the missile here, but he is clamped between both Seraphine and Rek'Sai here. So let's see what happens. The bot lane is coming down as well. Ragnarok is popped. He's going to be able to find the kill on the Rek'Ai here. Tristana now coming in from the mid lane, going to deal a decent chunk of damage on the Prey. Going to use the spell shield. It's not going to pop in time, but that's a huge amount of damage on the Prey. It looks like they're wanting more. Fishing Valid trying to find the kill, but it's not going to be able to find it just yet. It's going to flash over the wall, going to hit the grass cone, but it's not going to be enough. The Sivir Boomerang Blade going to be able to find the kill here. Now Nemesis is looking for more. Prey is already insanely low. There's a little bit of vision left. There's going to be the Zyra plant. Can they find it? Nemesis is looking underneath turret. The Boomerang Blade is coming across. Meanwhile, Mordekaiser is teleported in from the top lane here. That's going to be 2 kills, maybe. Oh, Milffield trying to get away. Lemon looking for something. That's going to be just a couple of music notes throwing in the direction of Zyra. And wow, that was interesting.
Awful overextend. I think they should have just been happy with the 1 kill they got onto the Rek'Sai. All Olaf had to do was pop his ult and he could just run at the Rek'Sai and they could exit. But they ended up getting greedy, pushing in for the Seraphine. Obviously, when you're in the enemy jungle, the enemy bot lane is going to rotate first. Prey and Rel show up and are able to kind of change the course of the fight. I will say I'm excited. I was impressed that Nemesis and Milpo POV did rotate. They actually saved Tristana from the initial kill with a really well-timed heal. Unfortunately, Fish went down to a stray boomerang blade that he wasn't able to track. All in all, it was a big win for XFlow. It is a 700 gold lead for Dragons, but that is not a huge lead. Oh my gosh, this Seraphine's on her own in this bot side. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a huge chunk of damage already taken to about half HP, but Nemesis wants more. That's going to be the Seraphine ultimate coming across, but that's not going to land on anything. Nemesis is taking insanely low here. He does have Ace in the hole. It doesn't look like he's going to be able to use it just yet. Ruse might be looking for more. He's going to find the ward here. Looks like they both backed off.
Yeah, I think the dive was a little ambitious. I think that... I don't know if Zyra didn't have ult or ignite, but once you landed your bind, I thought they were just all in that Seraphine. She's pretty squishy. You got Ace in the hole. You're 2v1 in the lane. That was a good window.
Yeah, for sure. And like Rue spending the Seraphine ultimate is pretty huge. I mean, we do have some neutral objectives on the map, and it does mean the next time that that Olaf decides to roam just a little bit too far, you know, we won't have the Seraphine ultimate available.
Right. I mean, Triss at the moment is just 2v1ing in the mid lane versus maybe this was a smart switch by XFlow because Seraphine wasn't doing very well against Triss, but Triss can't do a whole lot against Sivir and Rel.
Yeah.
And it looks like Seraphine's able to farm a little easier against the 2v1 lane. Really, if Dragons cannot get a kill here in the bot lane, if they just let the Seraphine free farm, they're kind of losing. Here we go, Olaf.
Yeah, Olaf caught out here. Here comes the Unstoppable from Cyan. He's not going to be able to find the knockup on anyone, but Lemon is already taken insanely low here. He's going to not be able to find the shield, and Rainy is going to be tanking up the Mirror Tail here and going to go down to Olaf. Olaf's still looking for more. That's going to be 3 kills for the Dragons on the top side.
Yep, just, you know, a nicely played team fight where Olaf maybe wasn't given the respect he was due. Rek'Sai does have boots and a serrated dirk, but I just didn't feel like he was able to lay down much damage. And obviously the CC's nothing, so you've got to do it the old-fashioned way. You got to get the damage. You got to lay that damage down on that Olaf. But 3 kills is obviously going to vault him ahead. He's sitting on 5 He's got 5,100 in the game compared to Rek'Sai's 3,100. That early, the early farm deficit, this is a snowbally game. This is League of Legends, ladies and gentlemen. If you neglect your early camps and fall behind, you farm slower. The enemy can counter jungle a couple of your camps, but right now we're looking at a 4-1 Olaf with nearly double Rek'Sai's farm, 96 to 52.
Yeah. Well, the Rainy might be coming in from the side here. The Chilling Smite comes across. That's going to be the ultimate from Tristana and the ultimate from Seraphine as well. That's going to be the kill, but Flash was also spent for it on both Rainy and Rue in the mid lane.
Again, I'm not super excited about the execution. Rek'Sai, like, you're forcing Seraphine to hit her ult, which is not like the easiest thing to hit. And then Rainy is following up with Flash knockup. You need to lead with the Flash knockup and then ult. And it's a much safer, kind of more guaranteed setup. All right, Olaf's going in V4.
Yeah, Olaf has already popped the ghost. He's now unstoppable, and he's on top of the Sivir here. Meanwhile, Sion is coming in from the backside. They're going to be able to find the kill. Rue is tanking up the dragon here, and it might not be where he wants to be. He's very squishy. He's going to go down as well. Memory Lane now looking for the kill on the Hammy, and that's going to be the ace in the hole as well. That's going to be a double kill for the Olaf. 4 for 0 in the bottom.
It didn't look good at the beginning when he was 4v1, but it was 4v4 real quick. Nicely done, Olaf. Also secures the dragon. That's 2 dragons, and what was a 700 gold lead is now a 4K gold lead. And the 2K lead the jungler had over Rek'Sai has ballooned to 3. So, we've got a stride breaker on Olaf. I am not used to that. Is he really off of Gore Drinker at this point?
I mean, I think so. There were plenty of nerfs to the Gore Drinker that maybe folks are like considering doing stride breaker instead. Obviously, I think both are fine. I don't think any one is particularly like way better than the other, but Gore Drinker, I still say would come out on top in comparison.
Yeah. I don't, I really like this, like they said it was a quality of life change, the stride breaker. They decreased the damage and increased the range. But the one thing you've got to account in that is that the range addition helps you escape.
Mm-hmm.
Like you don't, every single time you ever use stride breaker to get a little distance from your enemy, you didn't care about how much damage it does. But now it gives you 100 extra distance. Yeah. And that's like a big deal. So yeah, I actually think stride breaker is quite a bit stronger now.
Yeah, and I think maybe it's there so that stride breaker can give him just a little bit more distance if he ever gets like slowed, or if he's about to get hit by a skill shot. I think that's what he's using it for, so he doesn't have to pop Ragnarok and when he gets caught out maybe in a 1v2.
Maybe. I will say the Sion has itemized nicely. He is 2-0-4 against the Mordekaiser. Guys, this is an amazing performance by the Sion. Mordekaiser is a counter to the Sion because the Mordekaiser E can pull Sion out of his Q before he can get it off. But done a brilliant job. He's got Spectre's Cal and Merc Treads, everything that he needs to kind of survive an AP lane. Doing a great job. We've officially entered the mid lane. Mid turret's going down. Bot turret has gone down. Looks like they're trying to get something on bot side, Dragons.
Yeah, it's Praise Spell Shield is not able to eat the excuse me, the Hexed, the Piltover Peacemaker, and is going to just use that up. And this is already a huge chunk of damage that Prey has been taking in this bot lane against Nemesis, and Efficient Valor might be caught out here, might have to use the jump, but he's going to use it over the wall. He's going to get charmed up, though. Here comes Relin from the side, and that's going to be a huge 2 knockups in a row. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Lena's going to have to fight Memory Lane, and yeah, on Mord. He's going to try to turn this into a 1v1. He's now up against the Sion in the Shadow Realm. He's looking for something a little bit more, trying to get away from the Olaf and do as much damage as he can, and the directed camera just keeps putting me back and forth across the entire map, and I can't shoutcast, but that's going to be Milk POV picking up the kill in the bottom lane, and Rek'Sai looking for more, but that's going to be a 2 for 2 across the entire map.
Why didn't Rek'Sai chase that Zyra down? It's Zyra. She doesn't even have boots. You picked the Rek'Sai because of the Zyra. She's easy. I don't know why he didn't follow up there. Olaf gets the gank onto the Mordekaiser. Not much to be done here. Oh my gosh, Zyra's going to try a one-shot. Let's see how it goes.
Okay, they does have a Leandri's Anguish. Okay, they're going to back away here.
There's a
world where it works. There's a world where it works. I mean, but the problem is, you got Spell Shield. Rainy and Hammy might have found out Memory Lane here.
He'll kill them both. Not going to engage on it. Olaf will absolutely kill them both if they go in.
Yeah, you're probably right, yeah.
He is level 11 to Rainy's 9 and Hammy's 7, and he's got Ragnarok. You cannot fight this guy 2v1. I'm not sure you have any hope without a turret smacking him.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you're gonna need a lot of resources. I mean, he's also picked up a Sterix gauge as
Right?
well. Like, yeah,
God.
so
That-
he's just so far ahead. Even if you take him down to low HP, he's gonna gain a huge shield, which is gonna make him survive in team fights just a little bit longer. So
Despite all the kills and ganks, he's still maintaining nearly double the CS of Rainy. He's got 146 to 81. I mean, this is jungle camps. We're looking at a 70 CS lead of jungle camps. He's just rich. He's just absurd.
I mean, is it really that hard to outfarm anyone as Olaf? I mean, the one time I decided to play Olaf in the jungle, I was like, I wonder how this works out, and then I just got drunk on how fast I can clear all of the jungle camps.
I will say, it looks like Fish is going to get picked off again.
Oh yeah, oh that's a really great interrupt onto the knockoff there. He's going to use the blast cone to get away. Doesn't look like XFlow is going to follow up on that escape and just let him get away.
It is a good exit, but he is definitely taking chances and occasionally getting caught out. 3 deaths this game. Let's see how it goes. I mean, really, Dragons does not need to fight without their Olaf. And here we go on the Trist again.
Yeah, Rainy is looking for more. The jump is used, and they're not going to engage just yet, but it looks like they're just posturing for position on this Earthquake here.
All right, here's the big ult. Let's go.
Oh, yeah. Cyan is coming across. He's not going to be able to find the knockup, but a huge amount of damage on a Rainy. Oh, no. He's at below half HP. You don't want to see this if you're the tank, if you're the front line. He's forced to flash away here. Olaf's still looking for more, but the rest of his team are so squishy and so easy to be killed by the Olaf here. It looks like this might be Dragon. Oh, XFlow still wants more here. All 5 members of Dragons are here. Rek'Sai is coming in from the side, but he's still just above half HP. Here comes the Seraphine ultimate across. They're not going to be able to find the Dragon, but this team, this fight has started. 2 members are already insanely low, but Rainy and Hammy are taken insanely low here. Prey not being able to find the damage that they need. Memory Lane is stuck into the Shadow Realm with Lemon here. Lemon getting a huge shield, going to be able to find the kill on the Olaf, but is this the thing that they need? Fish and Valor not coming into the team fight, going to be able to find the kill on a Mord, and now they're just looking for more as Prey and Ray and Rue are just getting away. That's going to be the snare up from Zyra. They're going to flash over the wall, try to find the return kill. They're not going to be able to find it. Prey now stuck between 2 turrets and 3 members. Is he going to get away?
Yeah, they're going to let him go. He's still healthy enough that it would be difficult to track him down. Although it looks like Fish wants to try. Really nice team fighting. But you got to give a hand to Lemon. Lemon took 9,000 gold with him into the Death Realm, and with his 7, he was able to take it out. That is a huge win if Mordekaiser can solo the Olaf, and that is typically not the case. Olaf just hasn't built any MR and spent a lot of money on a Sterix gauge, which isn't going to give him a huge amount of help in that 1v1. But if Lemon can neutralize the Olaf, maybe XFlow has a path to victory here. They are on Soul Point, obviously still very far behind with an 8k gold deficit. But there's at least that bright spot. That Mordekaiser was able to take the Olaf down, and the fight was not nearly as lopsided.
Yeah, we now see them aggressing onto this mid lane turret here. I did want to point out really quick that Rek'Sai does have a Prowler's Claw, and it's certainly an interesting build. Not a lot of folks really like the item, but I feel like I don't like the item in this particular instance just because I feel like if you want your team to win, I feel like picking up a chem tank or maybe something a little bit more tanky so you can survive in these team fights just a little bit longer might be more useful to your team.
Yeah, I think you could be right. Certainly assassins or high damage characters, when they're behind, often building tanks provides more utility than just continually to beat your head against the wall trying to make something happen when you haven't got the gold for it. I will say, beautiful Seraphine ult. Did you see it from Rue in that team fight? He got it across at least 4 members. It was a beautiful Seraphine ult. Olaf immediately went on the backline.
But they might have a Rel ultimate here. They're diving on the MILF POV. They're taking a huge chunk of damage. Yeah, Mord is now in the backside here. Gonna have to fight the Rel and the Rek'Sai and the Mord and the Sivir. It looks like Hammy might be just getting away here. Here comes the re-entry from Rek'Sai here, but now Olaf is now fighting both Prey and Lemon here. They're forced to flash away as the ace in the hole comes across. Memory Lane's gonna get the last chunk of damage on the Mord. He's already insanely low, and now Hammy has to fight Mord, who's so healthy. Here comes Nemesis. That's a huge chunk of damage. This is gonna be finding the kill there. Prey gonna try to get a little bit of movement speed from the passive here, but that's Nemesis. He's so fast. He does so much damage. That's going to be another kill onto XFlow.
Nicely played. I mean, I think XFlow, they started that off with a pick onto Zyra, which I think was really well executed. but the Dragons collapse happened pretty quick. And this whole thing happened without Trist and Seraphine. Um, it is tough to deal with Fish in the side lane, but you really want Seraphine TPing into those fights. I know it's difficult, and I know you're giving up bot priority and damage onto the turret, but it's not like she held it super well on her own anyway. She can't really match that Trist anymore. So I don't know how the lane assignments were supposed to go, or whether she was supposed to TP in, but that fight definitely did not go well without her.
Yeah, Rainy looking to maybe find out Milf POV here, but it looks like he's just going to get away. Meanwhile, in the top lane, XFlow looking for something onto the Scion here, but it looks like they're just going to back.
Man, Scion 408, he lasted forever in that top side fight. He was at 75% health after 15-20 seconds of taking damage from 2 or 3 champs. Really brilliant job by Yaya on Mord.
Looks like he's looking for a duel on the Lemon here, and this is the exact opposite from what we've seen in the lane so far. Lemon already trying to turn it around, but this Scion is so incredibly tanky. He's chipping away as much as he can with that spin, but it's not going to be enough. Yeah, Mord's so tanky, does so much damage.
Yeah, I think the Scion has just outscaled itemization-wise.
Oh, yeah, that's going to be Lemon healing up a whole lot here, and here comes Rainy in from the side. Yeah, Mord is trying to look for the kill on the Lemon, and he's going to get shut down. He's going to get knocked into the air. Yeah, Mord. Oh, wow, that's a lot of Rainy. You cannot take that engage there, buddy. Oh, no, you probably shouldn't have pulled him in either.
I thought he was
no! Meanwhile, in the mid lane here, it looks like they're trying to find a collapse onto the Tristana, but both the flash engage from Rel and the Seraphine ultimate are not going to land, and that is a whole huge amount of resources spent for nothing in return.
It's worth mentioning that while all this song and dance is going on, Olaf and Kaelin are quietly getting Mountain Soul for Dragons. That is definitely going to accelerate the pace of the game, as the entire team is now going to have a heavy shield with boosted armor and magic resistance anytime they're out of combat for a few seconds. Olaf just becomes that much more difficult to kill. It looks like they're rotating to Baron now, but this is the problem when you're behind this far. They've lost all of their outers, a couple of their inners, and now it's just hard to maintain presence. It's hard to safely push side lanes, it's hard to match the Trist, and it's hard to get to objectives. I do think it's worth doing a big suicide run here. If they get this Baron, it's going to be very, very difficult to protect their inhibs. I know it's hard to get in, and it looks like they're just going to give it, but I kind of wish they would take this fight.
Yeah, it seems so awkward to try to walk into that team fight with those traps right there. It's such a huge zoning potential. And plus, Fish and Valor and Nemesis can follow up with just so much damage so instantaneously that it's really, really hard to really approach that objective there that XFlow really just has to give up.
I guess, but if you look at the XFlow comp, Seraphine, Sivir, Rel, they're a 5v5 team fight comp. And
Lemon might have found the Shadow Realm onto Fish and Valor here, and this might be huge. Fish and Valor does not have a QSS here. He's trying to knock him into the enemy team. XFlow is finally out of the Shadow Realm, and here comes the rest of the team. Nemi is knocked into the air. He's now unstoppable. There's that great shield. Rainy is going to try to get onto Fish and Valor, but it's still not going to be enough. That is insane. Insane.
Yeah, surviving in the Death Realm against the Mordekaiser, really fantastic buster shot just to create distance between him and the Mordekaiser, and is able to save Flash. Tip for everybody, including myself, because I don't always do this very well, but when you're against a Mordekaiser and you've got Flash, you have to try not to use it in Death Realm, because the entire world is going to crash down upon you the moment you exit Death Realm. So if you can make it through Death Realm and survive, having that Flash means you get to survive the next fight.
Yeah, but it looks like the next fight might not be happening as Dragons of the West continue to put pressure onto this Nexus here. XFlow trying to use the last bits of effort to try and survive. Yeah, Mord is trying to stay on the backside. Meanwhile, they're trying to dive on a Fish and Valor, but he's dealing so much damage. The hop came through. He's going to be able to find a double kill on the Rel. XFlow holding on for just a little bit longer, but the Scion is dealing so much damage to the Nexus here. He's going to be able to take it down. That's going to be the Nexus. That's going to be the game as Dragons of the West pick a game 2 over XFlow Esports.
Nice performance by Dragons. The revenge narrative is complete. They went down 2-1 last time against XFlow, and here they go with the 2-0 sweep. Excellent play, I think, across the board. Top on Scion did a lot of work, got ahead against the counter matchup. The Olaf, obviously incredible, getting kills everywhere. that first really strong play, level 3 when he worked on that Rek'Sai. Fish and Valor, a little aggressive on the Trist, but obviously got a lot of work done in a huge thread. And
Yeah,
how
for
many
sure.
times did they spend multiple ults trying to pick him off? Nemesis, solid MILF POV on the Zyra. I enjoyed watching it. This is not the last time you're going to see these two teams, ladies and gentlemen. We've got playoffs coming up. Regular season ends March 8th. And it is very possible that these two teams get put in the same bracket. I would love to see a third match to declare a true champion once and for all.
Yeah, these two teams are very, very well played. I mean, even though XFlow lost a 2-0 here, I think they still had a pretty good performance here. I think just a little bit more of maybe some more measured calls here. There were a couple times where like they spent a whole lot of resources trying to lock down a particular champion and not getting a whole lot out of it. And I think that was the big problem with this game here. But I still think they're very, very strong. I still, if they meet in the playoffs, it will be a match to watch. But that will do it for us here. Thank you all so much for joining us here for the Dragons of the West versus XFlow Esports here on Style Esports Season 6. My name is Shinkari. That's Merlin. Thank you so much for joining. And from myself, the entire live broadcast crew, thank you all so much for joining us, and we'll see you in the next match.
Have a good night, guys.